data video for the week beginning the 16th of December 2024. So we're obviously coming up to Christmas, so we've got a busy week ahead of us, but then it's going to be really quiet the week after, okay? And probably the week after that as well. So we have to expect quite a lot of tumultuous activity this week, okay? So we can see the euro has pretty much gone into plummet and 57,000 to 75,000. So be aware with the euro, okay? The dollar is just slightly negative with minus 3,000 contracts, but it's been pretty steady, as you can see. And the euro has really descended quite heavily, and we've broken that support back here in August 2 years ago. So be careful there, okay? The robot has got 2 Euro USD longs, but we're only using small sizes. We might be okay. But do be aware that the euro basket is being quite heavy currently. All right, so that's that break there. So off note, but however, the euro pound looks like it could have probably bottomed, so we have to keep an eye on that. Let's add the Aussie. In fact, no, we won't. We'll look at the yen because the yen is of importance. It's probably the most important, really, with the dollar. Because we've got the BOJ coming up, and also the FOMC and the Powell conference as well. So the yen surged. Yeah, we're positive territory again. So that's really interesting. 75,000, and we'd had this big heavy move, BOJ intervention, and now it's pumping again. So we've had a cross of the euro and the yen. So that's of note. I personally think that the yen's going to strengthen at the BOJ, but it might weaken going into the BOJ because they probably want cross yen higher up in order to sell. So we may see that move higher, and at the Bank of Japan interest rate decision, the big fish will step in, and then it will really fall very hard and very sudden. So I think that's probably what we're going to see. We are seeing yen strength, but we're going to see a little bit of weakness going into the BOJ, and then we'll see the strength. Okay, so that's probably likely. That's what that's signaling there, I think. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. If you're going to sell a currency pair, you'd want it high up first in order to sell, and that's what I think is going to happen with cross yen, I think. And then at the BOJ, it'll be like boom, and a really heavy move. Perhaps even hundreds of pips south. Okay, so be careful. And big week this week. Okay, euro off, Aussie on. And Aussie is just ticked down slowly. So that's also suggesting AJ sell as well. But like I say, don't leap into an AJ sell tomorrow. Wait for the BOJ and then you can sell AJ. Okay, I personally think what's going to happen is that we're going to pump and then dump. Okay. So be careful there, all right? So that's of note. So if you're looking for a currency pair, AJ could be good or EJ. Okay, so let's look at the pound. No, take it off Aussie. We don't need to see Aussie. Put on the yen. Okay, we'll put the yen back on. So that I think GJ, the pound yen, is going to be tricky. So I would avoid that one because we're not getting a crossover. Okay, and we are positive on both, and we're about the same. We are just about the same, aren't we? So I would be careful about GJ, I think. And it's saying that the pound is stronger than the dollar, but it's clearly not. We're definitely trending lower on cable on the pound USD, so that may tick lower. I think the pound probably should be ticking lower, I think, by this time next week. And also next week is that I'm not going to be around much, but we'll have the data in the Discord, but there might not be a video because I'll be sort of away a little bit for Christmas. Okay, so but we can put the file in Discord. It'll be in there as per. Okay, but I'm not sure if there'll be a video, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, pound off. I think that's going to come down, but we'll have to wait and see. CAD on. CAD's been heavy. It's big aggressive moves, up and then down, a snap up and then a snap down, minus 181,000. So it's just heavy and quite erratic as well. Gold is going to be really interesting now. We're seeing like quite a lot of movement in the US yields, and we're starting to see a little bit of a steepening and an inversion on the 3 month and also the 10 year. So that can probably be a little bit of a headwind for gold if you look at the US yields. And so perhaps this could be coming down slightly, but we're very strong, as you can see, and we are more positive than we are where we were the weeks prior. See, they're actually quite bullish. So we'll have to keep an eye on those US yields. I think they might give us a clear indication about gold, but if we do get that inversion, it could be a bit bad for gold. But you know, we can see that we're definitely strong. The herd are very short, and they've held short for ages and ages. In fact, all year, I think, ever since since January at least, they've held short. Right, so bear that in mind, okay? Gold off, and then we can look at the Swiss. No, we'll look at the New Zealand dollar. And okay, we just tick slowly. We're breaking this range finally, and we're just 28,000 contracts short. So finally, we're breaking that range. We did break above and then we're back below. We could break below and then back above, to be honest, because we did it there. So we might continue sideways, but we're seeing some increased volatility emerge in the New Zealand dollar. Okay, and then Swiss franc, and then that'll be it. So quite sideways, 41,000 to. Oh, I can't show you. It's just really in the way there. We see that we're slightly more positive than the week prior, and so that's that. So I think the yen is going to be a good trade, and I think it's probably going to go as forecast, where cross yen is going to come up higher, and then it will sell off very heavily at the BOJ, but it needs to probably get a higher price in order to sell, and also to take lots of liquidity on the way up because it's going to grab lots of stops on cross yen. Because what normally happens at the retail, they can be right, but they're just too early, and they're going to get punished for it. So it kind of makes sense that we're going to help take SLCs out. The big fish will then get a really nice price in order to short, and then the BOJ will come out with their hike, which is obviously good for the currency. It's a strong indication for yen strength, and then we'll see that dump, and we'll see cross yen really fall. We could see like a 200 pip drop, so we just have to be really careful. So keep an eye on your SLCs and on the FX SSI indicators. And just a quick one about the bubbles is that we have got some chop around with the pound and the euro and the Swiss. We can see that the dollar is the strongest, and we can see the New Zealand dollar is the weakest. And gold and yen are pretty much sitting on their 50%. So if something's on the 50%, the retail herd are undecided about that particular currency or commodity, but they can see they're long on the yen, long on the New Zealand dollar, and they're short on the USD, and they're short pound and Swiss as well, and the euro. So if you're trading euro pound or the euro Swiss or the pound Swiss, it could be a bit choppy. Likewise, if you're trading the Aussie CAD, that could be quite choppy as well, because obviously there's going to be a big fight between those currencies to see which one's the strongest. And be careful with gold, because we could go over here. If we go over here, it'll be a strong sell because it would mean that they're net long and they have added long. If it comes down here, it'll be a strong buy. So it could go either way. Could come up here, it could come down there. We'll just have to wait and see. So keep an eye on your bubble, and I wish you a great Sunday, and I'll speak to you guys soon.